Which song that ended up on the record gave you the most trouble in this way, in trying to figure out how to...
As We Fly South. We still haven't figured it out yet. We haven't played it live in years.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
We kind of, I suppose, when we went to record it, we had always trouble trying to play it live because of whatever elements are in it. It was hard to kind of get right. So when we went into the studio, we were like, okay, do you know what, we'll record it. We don't have to play it live. It can just be an album song, but we really want to play it live, so we're working on it.
Yeah, initially it was like a ballad, so it was like in 3/4.
Okay.
And then we changed it to 4/4, and then we didn't know what to do with it. And then when we brought it to the studio, it just kind of came to life.
And I assume this is different for each song, but do you generally start with the music and then the lyrics come after?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Generally it's the music that starts the process.
And are the lyrics then your thing, or do you discuss them amongst the band?
I suppose I have my little bit of paper in the corner, and sometimes I just have a mental block, and then I'm like, guys, I need a hand here.
Yeah.
But generally I do okay.
And then can I assume they are autobiographical?
Kinda, yeah. A lot of them, yeah, would be.
So you mentioned Speeding Cars. What was the starting point of that song?
That's a funny one because we wrote that song like 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
And it just started back in the rehearsal room, like diddle-a-na, and we kind of all just added our own little elements to it. And when the song was finished being written, I remember looking at the lyrics like, just where did they come out of? But I think only in the last couple of weeks, it was a film I watched, and I don't know what film it was, but that's what got the idea going in my head. I honestly don't know which film it was, but that's where the concept came from.
And then in a similar sense, do you know, when he brings a song to you with lyrics, do you know what it's about? Or does he keep it to himself?
No, I think a lot of his lyrics are quite metaphorical. So sometimes we learn more about the songs in interviews when other people ask him questions. Yeah.
Okay. And well, what is your favorite bit of his lyrics? And is there one song that sticks out for you?
One song.
Or maybe just a bit of lyric, or.
I love. There's just one kind of line from Hand in Hand. Well, it's the chorus that kind of just comes to my head all the time when people ask me. It's, strangers connect tonight, but we don't know why. We don't know how we can fall into each other now. So, I don't know, but like someone has actually said it to me before that, I think it was my mom or somebody, I don't know, that the lyrics are quite poetic. So even if you read them without listening to the songs, they kind of, I don't know, have kind of a ring to them anyway.
And well, you mentioned the word poetic, and Ireland has a rich musical tradition, and especially in terms of lyrics and writing. So, is that always? This might be a generalization, but being Irish, is that part of your upbringing?
Yeah,
that kind of.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just in Ireland, like music is everywhere. Like when you're growing up, it's played everywhere. Birthday parties, funerals, in school.
Right.
You're encouraged to play music. So I think from an early age, we've kind of just probably took it for granted, but it's always been there.
Okay. And then you mentioned before Catch Me If You Can, you weren't sure where it was going. So when things started to take off, what went through your mind? What kind of...
Probably that up until that point, we were never sure, was it going to last 5 years, was it going to last 2 years, was it going to last a lifetime? So I think after Catch Me If You Can was doing relatively well at home, we kind of had that moment where like, okay, we could be in here for the long run.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's when we started kind of taking things a lot more seriously and setting goals for ourselves. Like every 6 months to a year, we would be like, okay, this is what we want by the end of the 6-month period. And generally, it's kind of worked quite well. We've worked really hard and just put everything into the band, and I suppose sacrificed a lot of, say, our personal lives as well, because we've put so much into the band and so much time. We rehearse a lot, even still. But yeah.
And then, well, the payoff of working hard in November, I believe it was November, you're playing the 3 Arena in Ireland.
Yeah.
It's the biggest indoor arena, I believe, in Ireland. So what does that mean to you?
Well, that was one of our goals.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty amazing. I don't think it is really kind of, I don't know, I haven't processed it properly yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us have.
Yeah. I think a week before the show we'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah, we'll start freaking out like right before the show.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing to have it on your home turf, so to say?
What do you mean, the big show?
The big show.
The pressure.
I think it's good, man.
I think it's special.
I think it's great because it's where it all started, and a lot of fans have been with us from 4 years ago, and they've been waiting for this record for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think it's only fair that they get the first big show.
Yeah.
And you say this was one of the goals. Have you now set the bar even higher?
I don't know where to go now.
I actually hadn't thought about it.
Dan's uncle owns this bar in Dingle, and he's like, okay, you can play in my bar when you play Croke Park, which is this huge stadium in Dublin. It's like actually a football stadium, but it holds like 80,000 people. So, but that's absolute madness. But that's one of those things. He's like, once you play Croke Park, you can play in our bar.
Yeah. But look, we'll put it out there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But well, something to work towards.
Yeah.
Never know.
You're also playing PinkPop.
Yeah.
Did you know about the festival?
It kind of, the name rings a bell. But before we kind of got asked to do it. Obviously, I've never been to a festival outside of Ireland.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
So I've never heard of it.
What are your expectations then?
I hear it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, very excited.
I'm hoping the weather will be nice. Would the weather usually be nice for it? Yeah. Because festivals at home are generally cold and wet. So.
You've wellies on. Falling around. It's like, oh God. But no, this would be cool.
Is your approach, because you've been playing now for a while, and then I suppose you have done a bunch of festivals. Is your approach to festivals different than to other like normal gigs?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is, I guess, because it's probably a shorter slot. You might have half an hour to play in front of maybe 5,000 or 6,000 new people. So you kind of go out there and just give it everything. Whereas if it's your own show, you can kind of have a chat and kind of work your way into it and have an encore and bits and bobs. But I think with a festival, it's just like, right, let's go out there and just give it everything.
And I suppose at festivals, a lot of the people might not even know who you are, or mightn't have heard of you before, so you kind of have to approach them differently to gigs where you know that all the fans will know your songs or know who you are, so you kind of have to, win the crowd over a lot more.
It's like on trial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that a difficult thing to do, a difficult situation to be in?
I think it's kind of fun. It's a bit of a challenge.
Cool, it's very cool. It's a different one, but it's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for
your time. Is that it? Awesome.
It is, man.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good interview.
That was a great interview, yeah.
Very good, yeah.